You're here. We are on Twitter. We are on many, many things. It's DCon, DCON_extract on Twitter. You can find us. Please friend us. We like friends. We like friends, and I like making the person who does the Twitter, which is not me, work. So that's always fun. The other thing is, I got a pimp for the DragonCon charity. Charity begins at home, and we keep kicking Comic Con's ass on charity. So let me just say I like that a lot. Screw you, San Diego. Alright. I'm sure it's a lovely town. I don't know. Alright, but if you can give blood, please, please do. I tried to go today. My iron was low, so I'm eating red meat and spinach for dinner and trying to get tomorrow. But if you can give blood, please do. I had surgery 10 years ago and needed a transfusion. And people that gave saved my life, so thank you. The other thing is, and I do cheer up, still talking about that. The other thing is, we also like charity as in money. So DragonCon has 3 charities this year. They were picked by you. We have the, I'm going to get them right, so help me, Noah's Ark, which is a rescue shelter, great one. We have the Georgia Conservancy, a great one. And we have the Marcus Autism Center. Oh, I got them all 3 up. Yeah. All right. So all 3 of these, the plan right now is up to $50,000. Basically, the first charity, which is Noah's Ark, is going to get 25. Second charity is going to get 15. Third charity is going to get 10. Now they're my bosses. I think I might even be live on DCTV. Okay. They are my bosses, and they are awesome bosses here at DragonCon. But you know what? Let's stick it to the man. If we raised $50,000 this year in charity funds. That's through the auctions, through the Stargate charity thing tonight that they're doing with green screens. That is through we have a little pirate chest in the extract room. If you come and give us money, you get a sticker. Guys, remember, we're volunteers, man. Somebody help me make those stickers. So I can't give you really great presents, but I give you a sticker, and it's cool. It's got an alien head. So if you give us money, we will do that. If we meet 50,000, the DragonCon people are going to double all of those amounts. So Noah's Ark will get 50, the Nature Conservancy will get 30, and Marcus Autism Center will get 20. And let me be very honest, these are local charities. I know maybe some of y'all from around here, but that kind of cash infusion is a really big deal. So please, 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 yay! All right, so I'm going to point out again, you can go ahead and start getting in line. Beth, John, he's tall, he's easy to see. And then we will go, ready, 2, you don't really want to see me up here anymore, right? No. It's okay. I have great pleasure in introducing Mr. Silas Weir Mitchell and Mr. He will be here tomorrow. Is this they're going to do stuff, so. They are on, but you're probably really close. We're going to do the Q&A, but I wanted to ask a question. How did you get your roles on Grimm?
The old-fashioned way.
Begging?
Have you ever heard of a casting couch? I have a really comfortable one. I sit down, I have some snacks, and tell stories about it.
Just auditioning. I mean, I knew Jim.
Listen.
Microphone issues. Yeah. Thank you. I knew Jim Kauf from a movie that he wrote and directed. And we had a really good time, we had a really good working relationship, and he cast me against type in this movie where I was playing Jamie King's jealous husband, boyfriend. And he wrote it for someone who was sort of like a corn-fed, tough, kind of blonde quarterback type. Not me, if you hadn't noticed. And so I went in and just did what I do, which is not that, and he loved it, and he had the guts, and this speaks to how cool our writers are, is that he had the guts to cast against type in his own movie. And that's pretty gutsy. And then I think when they were writing this script, they thought of me. They said, let's bring him in. So in I came, and it really was a good fit. So that's how that went.
I went in and I just went on tape actually, and then they showed the tape. I don't know if they couldn't be there or not. But yeah, I went on tape and there were no lines for my character in the pilot, so they made up a scene where I meet up with a police officer and get information from him and then eat his head. So I did that in an audition. Is an interesting maneuver. But yeah, and then
what did you do? What did you do for the head eating part? Did you do like wow?
I just like gave my best sort of smirk, kind of like
immediately pre-attack.
Exactly.
Right. Because the threat of violence is always more interesting than violence itself.
Thank you for turning me on. Our first question. I'm so sorry.
I was wondering if there was a conscious decision by the producers, directors, what have you, from the very beginning, having Burkhardt have a messing partner and a cop partner.
That's an interesting question. I'm pretty sure. Well, they always knew he was going to have a cop partner, like that it was going to be two cops, and my guess would be that they thought that Monroe would probably wind up being a kind of double agent or straddling the two worlds. I would say that they probably saw that coming. But it's hard to say, you know, they write these things and they have ideas and then they walk down a blind alley and it doesn't work, or they do something very minor that they don't realize is going to become a whole storyline. Like it's very organic, but I would say it was probably fair to suggest that they knew that I was going to become a kind of reluctant partner, yeah, I would think. But that would be a question for them.
When they show the transformations, they usually are aided by computer graphics, but I know sometimes for extended takes you'll have to put on makeup. I'm just wondering like how long it takes to put that on and how it's like to act under that.
Well, mine was all CGI. They had to use makeup for my stunt double in the big fight in the forest with Nick. And that took, I mean, it takes hours. And then there's like teeth that have to be put in, so
yeah. Nice fez.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've only actually been in the full latex, non-CGI regalia once, and they put me on a green screen, in front of a green screen, and had me do a lot of different behaviors, thinking that they would... This is when you realize, like, a lot of this stuff, you figure it out as you go, you know what I mean? It's not like there's a grand plan and you follow through on it. It's kind of like, well, here's a problem, how do we solve this? It's a constant problem solving. So basically they put me in this regalia, did a lot of different things, thinking they could use it, you know, in various episodes throughout without having to put me in the makeup. That plan did not work. So then it just became full CGI because there's not enough time in the day because it's 3 hours on, 2 hours off, you know, and that's even after they've gotten it down. So some of the guest actors do the makeup and some of the stunt people do the makeup because they have enough time, downtime to get it on and off. But for us, it would take a whole day and it's not, we have too much other, you know, non-morphed stuff to do.
Hello.
Hi.
I'm just wondering what's going on with Burkhart's mother after she took the coins and got into a car instead of going on a plane.
I'm with you, man. What's up?
There's a lot of things planted that we have yet to see resolved, any of us, but she makes an appearance in the few episodes that we've read so far. We read it up until 307. We're in the middle of shooting 305 right now. Yeah.
Hi.
Yeah, she's around. They're gonna, you know,
Get to
they'll
it.
get to it. They'll get to it. We just have to be on the air for 18 years. They'll resolve, I promise that they'll resolve everything as long as we can shoot 500 episodes.
My question is for Monroe. Are you actually fluent in other languages? And if you are, can you say something in a different language for us?
Parlo un po' d'italiano e je parle aussi un peu de français. I don't speak any German, but I'm learning it with Rosetta Stone just to keep my brain active. But yeah, I speak a little Italian, a little French. You know, I took French all through through grade school into high school, and I love speaking other languages. It's really fun to use a different part of your brain.
Very attractive.
Merci.
This is for Silas. I was wondering when there seems to be a lot of talk about families, and we've already seen Adeline's family and her mother. Will there be any of your family who is discussed quite a bit and how they hate Grimms and they would not agree with what you're doing?
That's another one of those they'll get to it things, you know. I do think there is momentum in the direction of meeting some of my family. I don't know how it's going to manifest, I don't know who they're thinking of or how it's going to work, but I do think they're, you know, going that way, which I'm excited. You know? I'm excited to see who it's going to be.
My question is actually for the both of you. If you guys are at all like your characters, how?
You don't want to see Claire when she gets mad. She may be pretty on the outside, but wow.
Yeah, I keep saying it helps to play such an evil character because I get out all of my deepest, darkest wishes at work so that I can come home and be a pleasant person. I would say I'm driven, like Adeline is, and I would say that we have nothing in common wardrobe-wise. But the rest of us, like peas in a pod,
I have an obnoxiously good sense of smell. So if you ever see me in a restaurant going like this, it's probably because someone sitting near me is wearing too much perfume. And I like wine.
Awesome.
This question's for the both of you. Besides your own Besson or character, what's your favorite one that's appeared on the show?
I like the Spinatog, and I like the turtle, the Genio Innocuo. They're so cute.
I like the Spinatop because they threw up in each other's mouths. I thought that was Tausendschlange, just because I like to say it. And then, oh, the Murcielago, the bat creature, I thought was one of the best looking ones they did, and that was real latex prosthetics, and I thought it was like the best looking one, probably of the whole run for me, actually.
Hi, thanks for coming.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah. You guys are great, man. We're having a great time. Thank you.
So mine's a follow-up to the language question. Do you guys have a translator on site for the different languages, or do you guys use like Google Translate?
I just had to do a full scene in German, and we got, it went pretty well, yeah. I had to say, "Was ist los?" That's what is wrong. But we get, so Mary McDonald Lewis, who played Frau Pesch, she is a dialect coach, and then she hooks us up with we have a German translator, and so he'll send these audio files translating everything we have to say. But I've been told by Germans on Twitter that we're getting it wrong about 72% of the time.
Germans are very precise.
Getting it wrong 72%.
Hi, my question's for Silas.